and thank you for tuning in to the AAU TV Mid-Week News, and we're coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. My name is Lydia Nyame. With me in the studio are
Jemima, Deladem, Dotsey.
And my name is Agyemang, Okyere, Darko.
And now the headlines on higher education. New AAU Secretary General set to intensify institutional collaborations and partnerships, among others. And again, community activities to help prepare students for work. Director General of IEPA urged.
And in our health news, scientists claim that overeating is not the primary cause of obesity. And also, gut microbiota influences the ability to lose weight.
We're glad you made time to join us on the AAU TV Mid-Week News. Don't go anywhere, we'll bring you more news after a short break. Stay with us.
Welcome to GTP Health and Safety Corner. If you feel like stepping out, remember social distancing. You might just save a life. Rock at home, stay at home, stay safe. Wash your hands with soap under running water. Spaced out but still in touch. Check in on your loved ones and stay safe. GTP, timeless.
Welcome back from the break. And the new Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, Professor Olusola Bandeli has officially assumed office on Friday, October 1, 2021, and he takes over the mantle of leading Africa's apex continental higher education body, the AAU, from Professor Okyere, who served as the Association Secretary General for the last 9 years, in August 2012 to September 2021. Professor Oyewole was appointed the Secretary General following a competitive selection process which had several high-profile applicants participating. The announcement of his appointment was first made at the Extraordinary General Conference organized by the Association on 9th August 2021. Broadly, Professor Oyewole's top 10 focus areas are as follows: to demonstrate the value of AAU to its existing members, to increase the AAU's membership, to promote intellectual engagement, to position AAU as the true voice for higher education in Africa, to contribute towards building the next generation of academics, to consolidate the regional offices and work closely with them for the benefit of stakeholders in those regions, to continue strengthening linkages with diaspora, to strengthen partnerships and collaborations between other institutions and the AAU, to continue the execution of the Continental Education Strategy for Africa, to cultivate new relationships with other development partners, and to sustain the association for the benefit of its members and stakeholders. Meeting the staff of the AAU Secretariat, Professor Oyewole appreciated their commitment and hard work, which have contributed to the association's status. He called on them to cooperate with him and together collaborate with member institutions and stakeholders to move the association to the next level. He assured the meeting of his commitment to creating a conducive environment, promoting a culture of openness, teamwork, and excellence to raise the image of the association. On their part, staff of the AAU Secretariat assured the new Secretary General of their commitment and dedication towards realizing his vision of proving to the world that an African institution can be different and provide excellent leadership to transform the African higher education space. Well, there we have it. AAU's new Secretary General set to intensify institutional collaborations and partnerships. But let's first of all discuss briefly his background. Who is Professor Olusola Bandeli?
First of all, I'll welcome Professor Olusola Oyewole. And the little I know about him is that he's been the Nigeria Professor of Food Science and Technology, and specifically his food microbiology and biotechnology. And he has also been a board member and the president of the association in the past. And he has been the former vice chancellor of the Federal University of Agriculture, Biokuta, which is in Nigeria, since he's also a Nigerian. And I also say he's a senior expert in higher education at the Africa Commission in Ethiopia. I think Agyemang will take it from here.
You know, with all that Jemima was mentioning, these are great trajectory for Prof. Olusola in terms of higher education in Africa and just pushing the bandwagon in regards to advocating for the relevance of higher education in Africa with the AAU. He's been with the AAU for over a decade, more serving as a project officer, and also the president of the board, and as a vice chancellor. So he tells you the depth of experience he has and what the resources he has to bring on board to ensure that the dream, the vision of the AAU lives on and grows bigger and more. Great one.
Okay. Well, now let's discuss the roadmap of Professor Oyewole for AAU, because in his meeting with the AAU staff, he highlighted about 10 focus areas he intends to work with. So let's elaborate on these 10 focus areas.
Sure.
Okay, I'll speak on a few. Yeah. So one of it is that he wants to demonstrate the value of AAU to his existing members. And I know by this he is trying to, portray the importance of AAU to the member institutions, to know how important AAU is doing or how important AAU is regarding our academics, and also to increase AAU's membership. As it stands now, we have over 400 universities as members, and by so doing, he's going to increase the membership from 400. We hope to, get there, have a lot of African universities on board. And I also talk lastly, he said he wants to strengthen the partnership and collaborations between other institutions. AAU can't stand on its own. It needs partnerships. It needs collaborations, financially, knowledge-based, everything. We need it for the AAU to, be one of the best. So I think that is the few I have to say.
So taking a cue from Jemima's ambition, I mean, there are a whole lot that he wants to do, and I also want to add a few to it. Basically, you can't really understand what he wants to do unless you understand the vision of the AAU, which is basically to advocate for the relevance of higher education in the African continent and make higher education institutions in Africa relevant in the continent and also in their countries to meet the needs of the people. Now, to do this, you need to, first of all, bring all the institutions together as a unifying body like AAU, an association as such. You need your members. Your members need to understand why they must be part of you. That means that to be members of AAU must be an enviable spot for institutions in Africa, not just by chance, but by merit. To be with the AAU, it must be by merit-based. Moreover, he seeks to also consolidate all the regional offices, because in North Africa, we have the North African Regional Office, the East African Regional Office, and the NAMO, which is an American office. Bringing all these regions together is one great move to ensure that there's synergy and more togetherness amongst these regions, so we can share more knowledge, more resources, and more insight. And moreover to that, to also execute the precept of the Coordinated Education Strategy for Africa, the CESA, which is also mounted by the African Union as the apex higher education institution body in Africa, mandated by the African Union. It is important that we also chart the course of the African Union. And Jemima mentioned increasing membership, and that is all stemming from the fact that we need to build a much more lucrative ground for African higher education institutions to want to be a part of the AAU, to drive this. And summing them all up, eventually, he is going up under his tenure. We will see the growth and the development of a whole new generation of academicians, because the groundwork, the principles, the foundation has been built and built very well. So I think that it's a good cause that he has really charted, and by the support of the AAU Secretariat and also the regional officers and other donors, this will be materialized.
Okay, well, I must also say that these are great focus areas coming from Professor Olusola, and I believe that these focus areas, when achieved, would put the name of AAU to the top. So we all look forward to working with Prof and then achieving this dream and vision.
Exactly. Director General for the Institute of Educational Planning and Administration urges university authorities in Africa to develop means to integrate co-curricular activities into the academic curricula to cultivate soft skills to prepare students for the work. University authorities in Africa must find a way of integrating co-curricular activities into the academic curriculum to cultivate soft skills to prepare students for work. The Director General of the Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, IEPA of Ghana's University of Cape Coast, Dr. Michael Boachi Yadom, told University World News. Studies have shown that most of the soft and essential skills that many employers look for in hiring university graduates are developed through co-curricular programs, and yet these out-of-class engagements are limited in many African universities, Okyere said. The IEPA was established in 1975 through a joint UNESCO and United Nations Development Program initiative to train experts and non-experts with research-based evidence on educational planning and policy development in ministries of education and other educational entities, both public and private. Okyere said the corporate world is challenging and has high expectations of university graduates. Therefore, there is a need for lecturers and stakeholders of universities to impart practical knowledge to students to support them. According to him, school authorities must encourage active engagement between lecturers and students to help them in their period of growth. As soon as a student enrolls in an institution of higher education, the expectations are that some growth must happen, but he does not see why students cannot work in the libraries 10 hours a week to gain some employable skills while in school. According to Okyere, trained and professional student affairs practitioners are almost unavailable in most African universities due to inadequate graduate programs. As a result, academic staff usually perform student affairs roles with little to no background on student development theories that serve as a foundation for successful student affairs. Right back, what an amazing story right there in terms of the essence of co-curricular activities. And let's find out from the team. I mean, let's really find out some of these co-curricular activities that are really being conducted on campus and how it helps students grow their skills.
First of all, I would say the co-curricular activities are the activities that are carried out beyond the regular course study. So apart from what you are doing in the classroom, what other thing are you doing outside, which is still on campus? So some are the students' governance. You know, in schools, there is, I don't know how other schools call it, but in my school, it is students' government, where decisions and students' voices are being heard. And we also have the debaters club, we have the newspaper and blogging, where students are allowed to write and to talk about a certain topic that is affecting them or that is general. And also we have the drama production, where students are given the platform to exhibit, to act, to bring their flair out. And some schools also do robotics and engineering competition and others.
Amazing, man.
Well, I want to add that other co-curricular activities beyond what Jemima has mentioned could also include presentations that are being had in class. There are project works, there are conferences, there are internships. Yeah. That's all part of the co-curricular activities.
But what would you say are the benefits? I mean, how are students developed or groomed? What is really the benefit of these co-curricular activities to the students' development, mentally, physically, emotionally, towards the job? That is the focus here.
You know, I personally believe that these co-curricular activities build the soft skills of students. And I must say that soft skills is something that you do not acquire just from the classroom. Sometimes it takes practical. So internships, presentations, for instance, let me focus on presentations, would give you teamwork. Yeah. You would learn how to work well with teams when you are involved in presentations. Good communication skills. These are the things that employers are looking for. Now, I have some statement here made by Dr. Okyere, and he says, studies have shown that most of the soft and essential skills that many employers looked for in hiring graduates are developed through co-curricular programs. And yet, these out-of-classroom engagements are limited in many African countries. So you see, this is where I personally think the problem comes from. Students are supposed to build their soft skills through internship, presentation, project works, conferences, but we are limited. So the question is, how are we going to nurture the students to come out with soft skills? Because in the end, employers are not just looking at employing students who can just work. They want students who have leadership skills. They want students who are creative. They want students who are critical thinkers. But here's a case, our education system in Africa here is not allowing that environment. So I personally think that co-curricular activities should be involved in our day-to-day activities in universities. You
know, he mentioned that mentorship as one key aspect of student development should be really added to the curriculum on campus, where we have people who are ahead of these people, let's say in a master's level, making time to mentor people and the undergraduate, and then it goes cascades down respectively. What's your view on that in terms of mentorship and how we develop people, students for the job market?
I would say it's a great idea because whoever is ahead of you knows what you don't know.
Yeah.
Someone might be done with masters and you are still doing degree. The person is done in the work and the person is on the work field experiencing 1 or 2.
Sure.
So if such a person is to mentor the one in the degree or the one still studying for degree, I think it's a good thing. There is a lot of experiences that the person have that you don't have. So it's going to, you know, prepare you the degree, they're about to get degree holder for the job market, which he or she is already on it. So I think it's a great idea.
But I think it's quite sad because, I mean, during my years in the university, I really do not recall a time where I had a mentor, like the school made such an arrangement. I don't know if any of you had that experience. Did you?
Well, I think this like something he's just trying to propose that if it's possible, there should be a conscious effort to bring the mentorship aspect into the university education, perhaps, to build experience and strength. Stay with us, we'll bring you health news after the short break.
Welcome to GTP Health and Safety Corner. If you feel like stepping out, remember social distancing. You might just save a life. Rock at home, stay at home, stay safe. Wash your hands with soap and running water. Spaced out but still in touch. Check in on your loved ones and stay safe. GTP, timeless.
Moving on with our health news. A Perspective article challenges the energy balance model, which says weight gain occurs because individuals consume more energy than they expend.
Statistics from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that obesity affects more than 40% of American adults, placing them at higher risk for heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans 2020 to 2025 further tells us that losing weight requires adults to reduce the number of calories they get from foods and beverages and increase the amount expended through physical activity. This approach to weight management is based on the century-old energy balance model, which states that weight gain is caused by consuming more energy than we expend. In today's world, surrounded by highly palatable, heavily marketed, cheap processed foods, it is easy for people to eat more calories than they need, an imbalance that is further exacerbated by today's sedentary lifestyle. By this thinking, overeating coupled with insufficient physical activity is driving the obesity epidemic. On the other hand, despite decades of public health messaging exhorting people to eat less and exercise more, rates of obesity and obesity-related diseases have steadily risen. According to a professor at the Harvard Medical School, the energy balance model doesn't help us understand the biological causes of weight gain. During a growth spurt, for instance, adolescents may increase food intake by 1,000 calories a day. But does their overeating cause the growth spurt, or does the growth spurt cause the adolescent to get hungry and overeat? In contrast to the energy balance model, the carbohydrate insulin model makes a bold claim: overeating isn't the main cause of obesity. Instead, the carbohydrate insulin model lays much of the blame for the current obesity epidemic on modern dietary patterns characterized by excessive consumption of processed, rapidly digestible carbohydrates. These foods cause hormonal responses that fundamentally change our metabolism, driving fat storage, weight gain, and obesity.
So that is it about obesity, but I would want us to explore some of the factors that makes one obese.
Well, I would say that most times the factors that is widely known to be the causes of obesity is really not those causes. Sometimes it goes beyond it.
Okay.
There are causes such as genetic factors. There's physical inactivities.
Exactly.
People get obese by taking certain medications. So, for instance, for the genetic factors, a person who is a person who has either one or both parents being obese is highly likely to be obese because it's in the gene.
Yes.
And a typical example of the genetic causes is leptin deficiency. And leptin deficiency is a hormone produced in fat cells and then the placenta. These are causes that goes beyond the control of the victim. So someone may be obese, and if it's because of genetic factors, there's really nothing the person can do about it. There's physical activities. We all know that engaging in physical activities help you burn calories. So people who eat a lot of carbohydrates food and do not exercise are highly likely to be obese. And then finally, taking in medication that is associated with weight gain. We have medications such as the antidepressants. We have some diabetes medications that can also contribute to that. And then we also have some blood pressure medication that can all lead to obesity.
Okay. Agyemang?
Yeah, notwithstanding Lydia's submission, looking at the foundation of the story, talking about how this mysterious way of obesity as a pandemic.
Yes.
Naturally, we know that the two models the study brought out, there's the energy balance model and also the consumption insulin model, whereby the energy balance model says that when one person, let's say, succumb to eating so much of high palatable fatty infused diets, which are influenced or let's say processed through poor sedentary diet lifestyle. So you don't work out, you don't really balance the energy you consume. So all the energy you consume is right in the body. You don't do exercise. You don't actually impact. So therefore, you accumulate to yourself. In this case, then you amass all the carbohydrates, the fats to your body. Then your body perhaps grows, so you become obese. Whilst the consumption insulin model says that it is not really about what you are eating. Or how much, no, it's not really about how much you are eating. But there are some disorders, metabolic disorders, that drives such obesity. Not really about how what you're eating or how much you're eating, but what you eat. So these two models, perhaps the CIM, which is the consumption insulin model, counters the normal energy balance model, saying that it's not about you eating a lot and not working out. That makes you obese. But rather the metabolic disorder in you that really somehow doesn't perform its order because it's disordered, and perhaps making what you eat cause the obesity. So I think that the study is yet to finally settle on which really is the cause for obesity.
But I mean, how do you determine if someone is obese or not? How do you do that?
I mean, basically, it's by the way you look. I mean, the tissues are widened up. Your body is huge. I mean, your weight tells,
Because your BMI goes a long way to tell you whether you are obese or not. But I mean, when was the last time you checked your BMI?
Very long time ago. And strangely, we hear some other scientists saying that you can be slim but obese, and that's a mystery.
Well, I also hear that.
Exactly.
So moving on with our health news. Gut microbiome influences the ability to lose weight in humans, according to research. Influences the ability to lose weight in humans, according to new research. Your gut microbiome can help or cause resistance to weight loss, and this opens up the possibility to try to alter the gut microbiome to impact weight loss. To conduct research, Dr. Dana and colleagues focused on a large cohort of individuals who were involved in a lifestyle intervention study. Instead of a specific diet or exercise program, this intervention involved a commercial behavioral coaching program paired with advice from a dietitian and a nurse coach. The researchers focused on 48 individuals who lost more than 1% of their body weight per month over a 6 to 12 month period, and 57 individuals who did not lose any weight and had a stable body mass index over the same period. After controlling for age, sex, and baseline body mass index, the researchers identified 31 baseline to metagenomic functional features that were associated with weight loss responses. A major finding was that the ability of the gut microbiome to break down starches was increased in people who did not lose weight. Another key finding was that genes that help bacteria grow faster, multiply, replicate, and assemble cell walls were increased in people who lost more. So that is an interesting story on weight loss. So I would want us to talk about some of the weight loss tactics. How are people losing weight nowadays?
You know, as the story said, it's not about your effort. But because, I mean, this was counted just earlier with the story about the CIM and the EBM.
Yeah.
If it's about how well you can work out there. Well, but I think in this case, the gut microbiota, also likened to microbiomes, gut floras, microorganisms, basically like bacteria, fungi, archaeas, which exist in the digestive tracts of every human being, animals as well.
Yeah.
And what they do is that they have the capacity to release certain organisms that are able to ferment non-digestible food substance.
Okay.
And basically what they do is that they catalyze the operation to cut down large fatty acids into short-chain fatty acids, making you perhaps not amass so much fat. So the effect of the gut microbiota is one game changer or ringleader in ensuring that you're able to lose weight. So if somebody loses weight in whether through a conventional means like doing exercises or perhaps naturally, we have to accord or appreciate the work done by the gut microbiota because it plays that role to break down.
Agyemang, it seems you have so much faith in that study. Has it been scientifically proven?
No, the gut microbiota is in the body. Yeah, it exists in the body, your tracts. So anytime, perhaps, how do you attribute our day-to-day digestion? Yeah, who really breaks things down and ensures that we don't really go overweight? But food is broken down to, I mean, good amount used by the body so that we don't grow obese. This study is trying to reveal that there's something called the gut microbiota that is ensuring that, I mean, food is broken down to this amount of quantity so the body doesn't grow obese. Yeah.
No, I mean, beyond what Agyemang has said, I mean, there are the commercial or conventional means of reducing your weight.
Yeah.
A lot of people have, I mean, they've got testimonies to share about how physical activities alone have helped them lose weight. So don't focus so much on what Agyemang was saying.
You know,
if you're obese, kindly
you can balance energy. No, we've got people who are overweight. They balance their energy by working out, but they are still what they are.
Well, I mean, what is the essence of exercise and then still taking in a lot of fatty food and then sleeping?
Yes.
So it isn't about the exercise. For me, I think it's about the habit. You can exercise all you want, but if you still do not take in the right food, a balanced diet, I mean, you don't need to eat and then sleep right away.
Yeah.
You can exercise for 2 hours and then eat, sleep. It's just in vain. So I think while you are exercising, you make sure you eat a balanced diet. You look at the timing in which you eat. Exactly. Yes. I mean, because I believe they complement each other.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. That is very important. I mean, everybody has to integrate this good sedentary lifestyle to what they do, but beyond that, still identify, still acknowledge the fact that the gut microbiota does its job to ensure that food is broken down, excess food is broken down in your body to ensure that it's into shorter chains of fat.
Well, it seems at this point we really do not have any option than to agree with Agyemang.
That's a scientific fact, and I'm making it clear.
Well, that is all for the news, and in wrapping up, let's take a quick recap of our headlines. On higher education, new AAU Secretary General set to intensify institutional collaborations and partnerships, among others. And again, community activities to help prepare students for work, Director General of IEPA urges.
And in our health news, scientists claim that overeating is not the primary cause of obesity. And also gut microbiota influences the ability to lose weight.
And now thank you very much for staying with the AAU TV Mid-Week news as we keep you informed. My name is Lydia Nyame.
And I am Jemima Deladem Dotsey.
My name is Agyemang, Okyere, and we're glad you made time to watch us on the AAU TV Mid-Week news. Keep watching our programs. Have a nice day. Bye.